Now to a story that is doing the rounds online today, and it's pretty special. Astronauts on the International Space Station have had their first bite of a lettuce grown in space. Homegrown on the ISS, NASA described the moment as one small bite for a man, one giant leaf for mankind. And here we can seize the prized specimen, very carefully being shown to the camera there, the red romance lettuce. It was grown using LED lights, making it the first ever crop of food grown away from planet Earth. Now, it may look a little bit unusual to you, perhaps in shape, but that's because of the lack of gravity. And the taste, well, let's hear from the crew themselves.
Cheers, 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 cheers. That's awesome. Good. Tastes good? Yeah. I like that. Kind of like arugula. Yeah. It's fresh. That's solid. Yeah.
That's awesome, and it's fresh, is what we could hear them say. Well, one of the people involved in the project to grow food on the ISS is Bob Morrow, and he joins us now from Wisconsin, where the company behind this, Orbitech, is based. Good to see you, Bob. Congratulations. You're probably very pleased about this.
Yes, it's been a long time. We've been waiting for this opportunity. So,
just talk us through exactly how many years this has been in fruition and what exactly we're talking about and why this is so important today.
Well, we first came up with the concept of the veggie system in the late 1990s, actually, and through funding with NASA over a number of years, developed the hardware that was shown today on the video. And really, the key milestone today was being able to have the crew eat the vegetables that were growing on orbit. There's always been some concern about, food safety aspects and so forth. And so we had to demonstrate, that the produce that we would grow on orbit, would be safe for consumption. And that was a big milestone to have the crew be allowed to.
Sure, and I know the detail of how it was grown is very complicated and a lot of science involved, but if you can very briefly for us, in layman's terms, can you just explain exactly how you were able to cultivate this in orbit when things like water and irrigation systems that we'd use on Earth aren't apparent there and you can't use that sort of system to grow crops?
Right, well, we used what we call plant pillow, which is a bag filled with a inorganic growing media. And the seeds were pre-placed in those bags on the ground. Once they were flowing onto orbit, the crew would use syringes to inject water, and the capillary action within that media would keep the water trapped within the rooting zone. Then the only other thing we needed to provide was the lighting system. So we used a system of LED lighting, which is well suited for use in space. And in the pictures, you can kind of see a bellows enclosure that goes around the plants, and that keeps the humidity up high enough that we don't desiccate the plant material.
Bob, we've run out a bit of time, but I just want to ask you before we let you go, was there a sell-by date on this lettuce?
Well, sooner the better. Get it nice and fresh, and so.
Yeah, I was just wondering if they were going to send you a little sample back down to Earth, but maybe not. Okay, Bob, thank you so much for that. Bob Morrow there from Orbitech, which is the company that were behind this project, working on it for a number of years, as we just heard Bob say. But we want to know what you think about this. What would you like to eat in space? You've been sending us a few of your suggestions. Let's take a look at some of these. Cleda Larista has kept it simple by saying tomatoes. Doc Gamester, on the other hand, is a little bit more ambitious, asking for steak and kidney, pudding chips, gravy and mushy peas. Although Doc admits that could be a little bit tricky. Maybe right now it might be a bit tricky, Doc. So what should scientists grow next in space? What would you make a meal of up there with lots of ingredients? Let us know. You can tweet the Newsday team on Twitter at BBC News Asia, and myself as well at Babita BBC.
I'm the leading state sponsor of terrorism.